Okay, so you've made an edge impulse. You're about to put it on your TinyML microcontroller, but you really want to kind of test it out a little bit. So what I've got here is I've got one I did before in another video where it's brush and paint, and I've added some unknowns. Let's just go to data acquisition. One thing you might not know that there's this filter, and here I've got 0 unknown. I like putting numbers in front of my labels because the labels are done alphabetically, but if you add a new label later on, it screws up the numbering system. So I want to show you something here. I've got that labeled brush. If I go to this thing and I select all of the brushes and edit it, it's quite easy to make this one brush. And then if I, oh, and by the way, it's really easy to screw up with this, so be careful. We've had several times it mess up pretty bad. So this one is going to be to paint, and we're dealing with paint tubes of paint or paint brushes. Let's just double check that this is all my data's there, and you go look through it. We got some unknown something there. If I go look at a brush, it's a paint brush, and if I look at some paint, it's a tube of paint. Okay, so most people are probably familiar with this part. 0 unknown, 1 brush, 2 paint. I did that before. In the image, you click there and you generate features. The important one to look at once it's trained is your confusion matrix and the feature explorer. Feature explorer gives you a sense of it screws up once here. My results are pretty good, 83, 100, 100%. So you would go to live classification and test it out. But what I want to show you is something where we put it on a web page so you can test it out kind of live and get a sense of a little bit more of what your microcontroller is going to be seeing. So when we test it out, it's a brush, 100%, 1.00, 100%. So it's working fine. So what I get my students to do is go straight to deployment, and we would normally do the Arduino or the C++, but let's go to WebAssembly. And notice the speed. It's taking 115 milliseconds to do the analysis. That's pretty quick. So we're going to build it. Now, each computer deals with zip files differently. Windows kind of opens them up, but doesn't really unzip them. So this next step might be a little bit different on your computer. I'm expecting everyone to have a GitHub. Because, okay, you see there, Windows hasn't extracted it, so I'm going to extract it. And now it puts it into, is it done? What's going on here? It's probably behind everything. Let's go into my downloads, see if it's actually there. There it is. That's the one we're interested in. So here are the two files. It does an Edge Impulse standalone JavaScript file, Edge Impulse standalone WebAssembly file. Now what I want to do is go to my GitHub, and I think I've already got it set up. Yeah, no, public downloads. Oh, nope, that's not where I want to be. Oh, this is where I have my index.html file. That's going to be needed. Here we are on my Edge Impulse. I'm just going to show you how to create a folder. So I'm going to create a new file, but I'm going to call this painting/index.html. And oops, messed up my painting/index.html. Super easy way to make folders. Just going to put something in there. And then hopefully in the video, I'll put this index. This is the index.html you need to use. It's really badly written, but the point is just to get a visual idea of what's going on with your TinyML Edge Impulse. Don't know why this is taking so long. I'd better check that it actually made it all the way to the bottom. Looks like it has. So I'm copying that, going to my painting, index.html, editing it, and pasting that index.html that I've made. Okay, so we now need those two in the exact same folder. I'm on index.html. I want to be on the folder of the repository, and I want to drag these two files into it. Now, GitHub has a whole bunch they've already downloaded, allows saving of files, but it also allows websites. And so this thing I've got was called Painting an Index. I think if I go here, I'm right on my website of it. You've got to activate website. It's called Get Pages, and that's a slightly different step, but you can definitely look it up. So I called it painting/index.html. Now, one thing with GitHub Get Pages, they take about 30 seconds to do whatever they have to do. So this might not come up right away, but what is it? It's my index.html in your own GitHub Get Pages. All that allows is for HTTPS. It needs to be a secure server for this to work. You're welcome to use your own servers, whatever. Let's see if it's coming up, and it's still waiting unless I've got the, one thing I'm here that might be messing up this. So I'm going to ditch out of here, and let's just see how we're doing here. Oh, there's that. I'm just going to pause for. So GitHub's had time to refresh the page. I've shut down my video. So let's see how we do here. There it is. And there we have some music. So right now it's messed up with my face. And let's shut the sound off. Let me just show you what's going on. The mirroring's opposite, as the thing would do. But there we go. It's seeing this as an unknown object with 97%, switching to 98, to 93, 95. Now, as I turn that object, it's closer to a paintbrush or piece of paint, tube of paint. So let's see. There we go. Now it's closer to a paintbrush at 57, 47. So you see what's happening here? Instead of taking a one sample, it's giving you a sample. And by the way, I think I mentioned the frequency was 115. So assuming the web page isn't taking, it can actually analyze this pretty quick. So these sounds, thoroughly irritating, but the students like them. I shut off the unknown so that when the thing's analyzing an unknown, there we go, no sound. But as I'm not sure how I can get a peek. I don't know, I kind of like that. By the way, some other things that can go on here, you can change the width and height of your image. You can stop the analysis and have a look at the data, and you could actually change that data, but it's such a big spreadsheet of pixels. It's the pixels of the image. It reminds you that it's mirrored. So once again, this is just for showing you what your microcontroller is going to see. If you actually wanted to go into that index.html, let me go to my downloads, and let me just go, give you a little bit of a look of this. What's relevant to my students are, here are the sounds. My sound O, my sound 1, my sound 2, my sound 3. That's a clap wave file. There's the boom wave, kick wave. Now say you wanted to put your own sounds. Maybe it like says, oh, that's a brush. You could just record a sound. Because it would be in the same folder, you would just label the sound MP3, M4A, wave, whatever you want, and you would put that instead of one of these. Now the part of the code that's actually analyzing what's happening is right here. There's an if statement to see if it's checked to play my sound 0. It's setting the current time to 0 and it's playing the sound. Here for my if I equals 1, which I think was the brush, my sound 1, set the current time to 0. That allows them to be played very, very fast. And then my sound 1 play. And that's about it. So quick look at your microcontroller, what it would see, just to get a sense of what it's interacting like. You can use your cell phone, but the cell phone analyzes when you push classify, whereas this is live analyzing, and in the case of this one, making really irritating sounds, which theoretically could be played. Hope you enjoy it.